Hi, it's John Paulus. I'm here today at the Grand Prix of Potluckico, a Tony enclave of Potluck City right by the water. And it is a great race. Well, why am I at this race? Find out today on Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for joining me. Today's worksheet is worksheet 14. If you're in a race against yourself, you can never catch up. And this worksheet is based on card 14. Let me read to you the text here. Too often we think of ourselves as being caught up in the rat race of life, struggling to keep up. We externalize it as a race against other people or other things. But this race is really against ourselves, and we can simply never win it. So on worksheet 14, there's an image of a race car. It's a Formula One looking race car, and it's number 14, which is our car in the race here at the Grand Prix of Potluckico. So we're really going to be rooting for number 14. So on this race car, write the names of who or what you are racing for in your life rather than who you are racing against. So you know how on race cars there are all of these names and logos of sponsors? This worksheet has us think about our sponsors in life, who we're racing for. And the idea here is to focus on who you're racing for rather than who you're racing against. Because too often when we get caught up in things, we start to think about who or what we're racing against. And a way to turn that around is to pinpoint who you're racing for. All right. So let me get to work on this worksheet. I will go to select a pen. Here we are. Okay. And the 14 on the car is blue. So maybe I'll try to mix it up here. Well, I'm going to start with red. See if that worked. I select red, yes. And I'll select a pen. Okay. Now, let me start with the front, and I'll say this is the biggest support. And this is going to be me writing the words and I'm writing family. This is a big support, and who most of all I'm racing for. And I put it on the front. I'm putting it on the front. I'm not sure what you call it in Formula One, but it's like a bumper thing on front. And I am writing it in like really puffy letters because the 14 is in really puffy letters. Then let's see if I could do this. Oh, I'm not doing a bad job, I got to admit. If I do say so myself. All right, so I'm up to the I in family for those of you listening in. And here comes the L. Okay. And the M is really centered. I'm really proud about that. Okay. So this is something. So we're talking about this is, oh my goodness, this Y is funky. Oh, that Y is so cool. Are you familiar with the Art Nouveau style? Remember we were talking about those Liberty style villas in Switzerland and Italy and around all of those lakes. That style is that turn of the 20th century style is grouped in with the Art Nouveau style. It's a little bit of art history there. And that Y really looks like an Art Nouveau Y. So I'm very, very happy with that because that ties into our villa from yesterday and the day before. Okay, so there you go, family. I put that front and center. Who we're racing for. Okay. And then I'm in green. By the way, of course, all the fuels used in the Grand Prix of Potluckico are green fuels. Remember, we really focus on that in Potluck City. green energy. So I'm going to write this in green, and I'm going to say people. And by this, I mean, oh, that looks like a snake head. That's an interesting P. These are all the people that I have contact with, and this is the second thing here. I'm going to put it in the back kind of wing part. It's like a spoiler thing in the back that I guess it pushes does it push the car down? If you were an expert at aerodynamics of race cars, please let me know what that thing in the back of the Formula One cars does. I think it pushes it down to the ground. I think. Must have some, obviously it has a purpose. Okay. People. Okay. All right. So I wrote in green on the spoiler the word people. And this I'm talking about friends and acquaintances and professional friends and others who I am rooting for and who are rooting for me. So this is a great race car right now. You got family, people. Running out of spaces to write my little logos there. Okay. On the side here, I'm going to switch to brown for a second because I'm going to draw the trunk of like a palm tree. And this is going to represent nature. And remember talking about green energy and all that. I'm going to put that palm tree there. I'm racing for that. And of course, nature and the environment and support all of us and sustain all of us. So that's a real important sponsor of this. Oh, you know what? I need one space for what am I racing for? I'm racing for Shushuttage. Remember Shushuttage, the pampering? So that is something that's going to be my representation of myself and self-care, because that's absolutely essential. And so I'm going to put it next to the 14. I'm going to do it in magenta. How shall I represent Shushuttage? Shushuttage. Self-care. Okay. I am going to, I'm going to draw it as a life's potluck. Oh, you know what? I'll draw it as a Dutch oven. That's going to represent taking care of myself. And I haven't drawn a Dutch oven since 2 days ago, so I can't not do that. And of course, wherever you are, please let me know what you call this oven. It's a pot with a lid and handles. Sometimes it's cast iron with enamel, sometimes it's other materials, and you put it in the oven. Used to be that it was the oven and you just put the coals on top of it and underneath it, but nowadays we put it in our ovens. At least most of us do. And if you don't use an oven, if you do the old school with the coals and stuff like that, please let me know, because I'm really interested to hear about that. Okay, so I drew a magenta Life's Potluck Buffet Dutch oven, and that is going to represent my self-care, and that's right next to the 14, because that's a really critical thing. Okay, anything else? Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't say something to do with flourishing. And again, I'm going to draw in, as I did in my image of my port that I was sailing into, I'm going to draw this treasure chest. This is symbolizing adventure, excitement, fun, and every success that we can think of, and all the flourishing is this treasure chest. And I'm going to draw that on one of the sides of the thing here. It also looks a little bit like a covered bridge or barn, but that's okay. That's kind of interesting as well. Let me delete this. Get rid of that dot. Okay. It's hard to get in there. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw the bottom part near it, and then I will use my arrow keys to place it so I don't pull over all of the other stuff there. Okay. All right. Oh, and there's a little dot there. I'll get that. Okay. Oh, you know what? I should put a little lock thing. I don't know. Little key-like thing. Okay. So there it is. There's my race car for today. I've got family, professional people and acquaintances and friends. I've got a palm tree for nature and environment, and I've got a Life's Potluck Buffet Dutch oven for my self-care, and then I've got, for the sake of adventure and flourishing, I've got the treasure chest that I've been drawing in recently. So there it is. That's a good-looking car. So give worksheet 14 a try for yourself. Let me know how it turns out. And I'll see you next time on Life's Potluck Buffet. Oh, yeah, and take a look at the links in the description for more from the world of Life's Potluck Buffet. Thanks for listening today, and I'll see you next time. Oh, all right, this is it. This is the end of the race. Come on, 14. Let's do this. Come on, 14. Oh, are they going to hit, are they? Oh, no. Okay. Oh, yes. The winner. Oh, that's terrific. That's a lot of points. Whew.